Wow, what a WrestleMania that was last night. I mean, in my opinion, I think this was the best WrestleMania since WrestleMania 20. And people would agree with me on this, that ever since WrestleMania 20, every other WrestleMania, you see how excited I am? Every WrestleMania after WrestleMania 20, it started to slowly decline in, like, that WrestleMania feeling, you know what I mean? And then the one where The Rock hosted the WrestleMania, it was when that did it for me. I was like, okay, this is not WrestleMania, you know? It just felt like another Raw. But honestly, I felt that 29 kind of picked up a little bit and made me feel like I was watching it, but then WrestleMania 30 really made me feel like I was watching WrestleMania. And a lot of people do agree that this was actually a really great WrestleMania, except for one match, in my opinion. But anyway, let me give you a rundown of how I felt about certain matches. I didn't get to watch most of the tag team title match. When I came into my friend's house, I was actually watching the tail end of it with the Real Americans against the Usos. I guess they eliminated the other two teams that were in it, and the Usos got over. And there was a dissension between Real Americans, which everyone expected, and pretty much they broke up and stuff like that. So I think this is good for Cesaro. I think this is gonna be great, you know, especially the fact that Cesaro won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. This has to be his moment. This is that spark, you know, that should say that time for a push. You know, time for a push for this guy, you know what I mean? And everyone will agree with me on that. The fact that that motherfucker lift up the Big Show, like, and compared to his size and Big Show, it's like, holy shit. The man is a fucking monster. And I've been saying it on Facebook, I am afraid of Cesaro. Like, I fear the guy. And that's a good thing. That's a good type of fear, that, you know, you respect that guy. You know what I mean? But I have to say, you know, if this is not gonna get him a big, huge push, then I don't know what is. You know what I mean? So let's hope for the best for Cesaro. So I got that and the moral out of the way. I'll talk a little bit more about that. The opening of WrestleMania 30, to me, was the best opener I've ever seen. I mean, to see Hulk Hogan and Stone Cold Steve Austin in the same ring, oh my god. To me, and I hope I don't seem like being blasphemous or something like that, but to see Hulk Hogan and Stone Cold Steve Austin in the same ring was kind of like seeing God and Satan having a truce. Seriously. And it felt meaningful for me. And then my friend was saying that I bet The Rock will come back, and I didn't believe it was gonna happen, but it happened. Rock came out, and to have Rock in there, I don't know how it fit with the analogy I made, but it was just awesome. And you can tell that these guys didn't lose a step when it comes to the mic work, except for Hulk Hogan doing the botch of the night, in my opinion, by calling the Superdome the Silver Dome, which is honestly an honest mistake, because he was there before. You know, it was an honest mistake, so anyone can make mistakes, you know what I mean? So to me, that was my WrestleMania moment. Yes, Daniel Bryan winning the title was a big, huge WrestleMania moment, but I think the opening of that show with all three of those legends, the former faces of the company, was, in my opinion, the WrestleMania moment of the night, in my opinion. But anyway, get to the first match. Triple H versus Daniel Bryan, to see who will go into the main event. To me, in my opinion, was the match of the night, both wrestling wise and storyline wise. I think this was the only storyline driven match that actually mattered, that actually had emotion, had feeling, because everyone was rooting for Daniel Bryan and everyone hated Triple H. And it was just awesome. It was an awesome match, awesome wrestling, and I was just happy that he got over. I did a video which I'm going to post up later on, of my complete reaction to the whole match, and it's funny at the same time because I'm interacting with other friends and stuff like that. But it was a great match and a great ending, and you know, it just goes to show you that not everything you hear on the internet is true with Triple H burying people, which although he has done in the past, but you could tell that Triple H was really pushing for Daniel Bryan to be the top guy since SummerSlam. You know what I mean? The storyline was there, and like I've been saying. But second match was The Shield versus The Authority, New Age Outlaws, and Kane. The way it started, I knew it was going to be a quick match, and it was. And I had to say the double, triple power bomb, which I think I'm saying it right, was actually awesome, with Roman Reigns power bomb both members of New Age Outlaws to the mat with the help of Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose, of course. But it was a great match, and there was no indication of any dissension with each other, even when people were predicting that. Then, of course, I already talked about the inaugural Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, which was actually going into this match, I wasn't really looking forward to this match because I was like, oh, it's a battle royal, who cares, who gives a damn, it's gonna be a clusterfuck. But then as it went down to about, I think, 10 people, it did start becoming interesting. And then of course we were all expecting Kofi Kingston to make some miraculous save, and he did, you know, not bad. But it was actually good. It was very entertaining. Like I said, Cesaro lifting up the Big Show. I was actually rooting for Cesaro to do a giant swing on the Big Show. I say if he can do it to Great Khali, he could do it to the Big Show. But didn't get that. But I got the best thing better than that. He lifted him up and threw him out. Not like, you know, do some kind of a fluke thing, but he actually literally picked the motherfucker up and threw him out. And like I said, if this doesn't get him a push and have people taking him seriously, although everyone does take him seriously, but the business taking him seriously, then I don't know what will. Okay, so then it was John Cena and Bray Wyatt. This was a match I was actually really looking forward to too. Unfortunately, I had to pick up my wife from the bus station because she took a trip to see her family in Pennsylvania. I had to pick her up, and unfortunately I missed the entire match. I did see the first part of it, and how Bray Wyatt was on his knees and he said, now's your chance, now your chance, and like John Cena said, get up, get up. He wanted to fight. And it to me, with that it screamed out Batman and Joker. You know what I mean? And, you know, to me it was. But unfortunately, I didn't see the whole match, so I can't give you my honest opinion. What I heard is that he did win. John Cena won the match. And I asked them, did it seem like John Cena was burying Bray Wyatt? They said no. And I said, point made to all you fans out there who thought that he was going to get buried. He still put him over. The fact that Bray Wyatt got into his head means something. And if he can get in the mind of someone like that, think of other powerful minds in there, like the Undertaker, which we'll get to that later on. Actually we'll get to that right now, because the next match was actually Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar. Now, I didn't see the entrance, which I always wanted to see because I was still getting my wife from the bus station. As I came in, the match was about to start. Unfortunately, I didn't see the whole caskets and stuff of all his past opponents, which was, I heard it was great. I'm going to be honest with you, and I might get flack for this. This was actually the most disappointing match of all. Not because of the result, because I'll get to that later, but just the performance-wise. Now, some people will say that, you know, Undertaker got hurt in the first 2 minutes of the match, which I will give you that. But at the same time, honestly, I wasn't really feeling the match. I was actually mostly on my cell phone looking at other people's reactions to the results of WrestleMania. I wasn't really feeling it. You know, it just didn't do anything for me. And I was just so shocked that I was like, and I think maybe it was because I was expecting Undertaker to win. I said, well, he's going to win anyway, so I'm like, boom, boom, boom. And then all of a sudden, F5, I said, oh, F5, he's going to kick out. Then also, I heard 3. I was like, what? And then, if those of you who saw my reaction, that was genuine. I was pissed off that it was all of a sudden Brock Lesnar was the one that broke the streak. I didn't want it to be Brock Lesnar, in my opinion. I wanted it to be somebody else who I felt deserved it. But that was genuine emotion, and I'm actually going to do another video on actually getting deeper thought on that match and stuff like that. But other than that, performance-wise, it didn't do much for me. And plus, the lead up to the match was lackluster at its worst. You know what I mean? For an Undertaker match, you know, it was very lackluster with the build-up. You know what I mean? It didn't really made me feel like I cared. You know what I mean? I really didn't care much for the match when it started. You know what I mean? The only time I cared is when knowing that Brock Lesnar was the one that broke the streak. You know what I mean? So, next match was the Divas Invitational match, which I thought was kind of weird to have all those Divas in there and one pinfall wins the match. Should have been elimination or something like that, but AJ won it, and we're just gonna move on to the main event, which, whoo boy, it was great. It was a good match. Not as good as the first match with Daniel Bryan and Triple H, but it was good. We all knew that Triple H was gonna get involved, but then he got his ass handed to him by Daniel Bryan with a sledgehammer to the face. He was gone. One huge big spot with that match was the Batista bomb and RKO through the Spanish announce table. That was sick. I thought that was the sickest thing I ever saw. And then when it's all said and done, Daniel Bryan, everyone thought Daniel Bryan was gonna get carted away and stuff like that. He was actually strapped up, braced and everything, and he was, as my friend would say, bearding up. You know, he was bearding up. He was actually, you know, I was like, okay, he's goating up, or so he's the goat warrior or something like that. But when the finish happened, I was just happy. And all I had to say was, I did a reaction video on that too. I was going to all those wrestling fans who was getting sick and tired of the wait. They wanted him to have the belt right there and then, since SummerSlam, since the other pay-per-view where he won it back. I don't even remember the pay-per-view, honestly. I think it was I don't remember, but anyway, and I kept saying, you know, he'll get his moment. It wasn't the right time, and I felt that WrestleMania 30 was the right time. Now, some people would say that they had to do it because of what happened with the Undertaker and stuff, but like I said, what happened happened, and I had to say that moment, honestly, I said it in my video that it really does overshadow the final moments of WrestleMania 30 with Chris Benoit and Eddie Guerrero in the middle of the ring. It does kind of overshadow it, unfortunately, and I think that was their intention, WWE's intention to do that. So it was a great moment. It was what I wanted for Daniel Bryan to have, that WrestleMania moment. No more of doing the pre-shows, no more doing 18-second matches, being in a tag match. This was what I wanted to see with Daniel Bryan. And in my opinion, I think the most meaningful victory was his victory over Triple H, because it was more of the fact that he proved him wrong. And that's why I felt that the first match, Triple H versus Daniel Bryan, was the match of the night. And I'll be honest with you when I say this, so when it comes to MVP of the night, I'm giving it to Cesaro. I mean, come on. You can't disagree with that. MVP goes to Cesaro. But as for WrestleMania moments, again, the opening of the show, Stone Cold, Hulk Hogan, The Rock in the same ring. Yeah, but anyway, that's how I felt about WrestleMania. And like I said, it was the best WrestleMania I've seen in 10 years. You know, since WrestleMania 20. What do you guys thought about WrestleMania? Was it good? What was your favorite match? What you thought was match of the night? What was your disappointing match? And stuff like that. Leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. We'll see if it comes there. We'll have some discussions and stuff like that. And stay tuned for my other video about Brock Lesnar and The Undertaker, the results of it, and how I felt the fans are being a little bit overreacting, even though I was overreacting, but overreacting to the point they wanted to give death threats to Paul Heyman, which I think that's kind of BS, and the whole conspiracy theory things. But anyway, so stay tuned for that, and take care, guys.